Alright guys, so I'm going to make another video while we're waiting for the electronic part to come back for this. I don't know when it's going to happen. I think I might start, well I'll show you what else I've got coming up. Okay, that's a Honda 1983 Honda CBX750 R14. I've actually got 3 of those. So there's one there. I've got all the fairings and everything for it. So they're a pretty cool little bike actually, and I've got 3. So I've got that one there, I've got, well, there's another one in pieces, there's the frame, wheels, and that's all of it there, and there's an engine there for that, so that's all that one, and I've got a third one here. So there's the other one right there. So I'm thinking that I can make at least one bike, one really good bike out of all these parts, maybe even 2. And I'll throw up a picture right now of what these bikes look like from factory or when they're done up. They're really nice, I love them. So I'll put that picture up now. So what I want to do is check, just while we're waiting on the midnight special, just to see if they've got any spark or if they turn over or anything like that. So this one's got its key, so we're half home and hosed there, but those air filters look rusty as, so I know nothing about these. Got tank and everything. I know nothing about them, but yeah, I'm hoping I can make at least 1, maybe 2 good bikes out of the 3. But before that, I've noticed I've got this other one here. That is a 1980 XJ650 inline 4 shaft drive, and I was going to leave that one till last, but I've noticed on my local marketplace there's a guy selling one of these, and it's pretty rough, but it looks like he's tried to make it into a cafe racer. So he's chopped all the frame away at the back, and he says it's running, but it's about as good as condition as this one. So what I might do is pull this one out, and if this one's got no spark, because it's got its key and everything. So we'll test this, and if this one's got no spark, I might make old mate a really cheeky offer, because that other one was running. He wants far too much for it at the moment, in my opinion anyway. Because anything that's been butchered, I think they lose value. But anyway, that would be, I'd offer him parts bike money for that other one. So I think we'll pull this one out and see if we get any spark out of that, maybe some compression. So we'll have a look at this one. I'll drag him out and then we'll have a closer look. Okay, so here she is, the poor old thing. I love them when they're like this. Anyway, so I know nothing about it, but what I've done is I've just cracked the plugs. I can see we've already got a broken or the plug cap's missing off that, but we should be able to test spark on that, no worries. Rest seem to be okay. So I've just cracked the plugs. What I'll do is I'll take those out, we'll pour a little bit of oil down there, bit of 2-stroke oil down there, or WD-40, whatever I got, and we'll hook a battery up. I've had a quick look at the wiring, everything seems to be okay. In place. Nothing looks to be cut or butchered, which is really good, except for, you know, always get the mess inside here. The guy that's selling this other one's also got the headlight. These are really hard to get, these headlights. I've got it, but it's cracked. So anyway, I'll get these plugs out, we'll hook the battery on and see if we can get any power through it. Alright, so I get a bit of WD down there. Because like I say, I don't know anything about this thing. I don't even know if it turns over, so we'll do that. We'll get a battery on him and see what happens. Righto, I've just charged this one. He's fully charged, so it should have plenty of grunt for this bike. It turns over those big V twins, so alright. Negative on there. Alright. No spark. Oh, that's a bit dirty that, but anyway, we'll see how we go. Alright, that's on there. Bring you over here. Alright. See if we get anything out of it. Oh, got a neutral light. That's handy. Alright. Let's push the start button. Of course not, but look at that. I push the start button and unless this has got like a clutch, might have a clutch or a side stand, solid, you know. I can't think of the word, but anyway, I'll have a bit of a look. Yeah, it has got a clutch switch, but it's not hooked up. I might have to short the two little terminals out, or the wiring. I'll see if I can find the wiring. Check this out. This never happens. Classic. What else? We getting any dash lights? No, nothing else. Except the good old horn. Oh, that's all gummed up there. So I might take that switch apart and have a look inside there. Yeah, so the first step is to try and get it turning over. Okay, well I was just thinking I don't need to take that off. Because we know that start button's working because it's doing its thing with the oil light. I reckon I've found that's the clutch switch there. Well, you've got to have the clutch in for it to start or turn over. And the wires are missing, but I'm pretty confident that's them there. The black and the yellow I've found hanging out of the light. And they're being twitched together. So 100% sure pretty much that that's that, so we're good there. And I've just had a look and I've noticed that there is undone, and I'm assuming that just gets, that's an earth to go there. So I'll find a bolt to go in there. Love the Yammies, they're all pretty much M6s and whatever. These hex heads, Allen key heads, I've got plenty of those. So I'll put that on there and we'll try again. Right, I've got that hooked up, so let's try again, see what we get. Nope, same thing. Okay, same thing. Righto, I'll do a little bit of investigating. Okay, well it's amazing what you find when you look a bit deeper. So yeah, knucklehead should start with the basics. So what I've found is, I don't think that goes there at all. You can see in there. See that hole there? No starter motor in it. So there you go. We're behind the 8 ball. So no starter motor, it's obviously not going to turn over, is it? So there we go. Alright, what to do? Not sure what to do. Whether to make old mate a smart offer on that other one, which he says is running, and then basically build one of these up, because I've got all the parts for this, so except for the starter motor obviously. So yeah, I don't know if these are worth doing. I don't know if they're valuable when they're done up. I'll put a picture up of this one, what they look like when they're all done up, so I'll put that up now. Okay, and so yeah, you guys let me know. Do you want to keep going with this or start on the Hondas? Try and make a Honda. Or what I might do anyway, just for the sake of content, is pull that one out and maybe the other one. This one's got no ignition barrel, but it's all good because we've got well, there'll either be one amongst all that shit or I'll pull it off the other bike. See if these guys turn over and got spark. Turn over and get spark. So anyway, I'll go in, I'll make a smart ass offer on this other XJ, see what he says, and then we'll come back and we'll see if we can get any life out of these things. Oh, and one other thing worth mentioning too is I might try and get that other XJ like this, because I was thinking that I'm pretty sure the forks on these are the same as this one, and I'd really like to see this one's only got single front brake, so I'd like to get the twin front brakes and all that set up on the midnight special. So yeah, alright, I'll go and make an offer on this thing, see what he says. Alright, old mate didn't accept my offer. He thinks he's sitting on a pot of gold when in fact he's sitting on a bucket of lead. But anyway, I just remembered this bucket of crap here came with that bike, so we couldn't be so lucky, could we, to find a starter motor in there. That would just be too easy. Hang on, I'll put this on the tripod. Alright, let's have a sift through here. What do you reckon our chances are of finding a starter motor in here? I'm saying our chances are Buckley's, but anyway. Stranger things have happened. It's oil filter cover. Have a look at this shit, would you? Look at it. Been out in the weather. Well, there's the headlight. All cracked. Had a big smack there. Cracked it all. Alright. Doesn't look like there's a starter in here, of course. That would have just been too arsey. Nope. Alright. I've had a look on eBay too, by the way, and there's one starter motor. It's in Germany and they want about 250 bucks for it, plus the insanity of the postage costs these days, so forget that. Yeah. Don't know. Alright, we'll keep thinking about it. Alright, so I have found a starter motor off an XJ650 on eBay, which is not that far from me, but it looks the same, but I don't know. It's still a couple $100. So I don't think it's worth really going any further on this thing. So I might park it for now. See if old mate, he said he's going to think about that offer, so in other words, he probably won't do anything. He said, oh, I'm going to hang on to it for a bit longer, and if I change my mind, I'll get back to you, that sort of deal. So, yeah, at this stage, I'm just going to park that back over there, maybe just scrap it, whatever, and then we'll have a look at these Hondas. Alright, I've dragged this Honda out. This is probably the worst out of the two, but it's got its ignition barrel. So I'll put a battery on this, see if we can get any life out of it. Alright, battery's on, no spark, it's sparking. Oh, we've got an oil light. Don't know what the neutral light is there, but I can't see it. Oh. Getting a bit of a noise there from the starter. That's handy. Tacho just jumped. Okay. Interesting. Alright. Righto, I've ripped these Hondas out. This is the crappy one. This one here is the better of the two, except for that there, that's my stupid fault there. But anyway, I've got another one here, and there's probably another one over there. So what I did is, this one had all his dash on and also the ignition key, and I was getting lights and high beam, low beam, everything off this one. And I noticed that there was this here, these wires go one to that plug and one to this plug, and they've been taken out, the red and the black, and they've been linked together here. Now over on this one I noticed that they've done the same thing here, but there was no tail for that. So that was going into this one. You can see there's obviously a drama with these bikes because that's been melted, and on this one, I'm probably not going to see that. But yeah, so there's obviously a drama with those wires that they melt in these plugs, because the same's happened on both bikes. So I've just cut that one, put that on there, that will clip in there. Anyway, but what I'm trying to do is get the wiring sorted out on this bike, because this is the good one. He reckons he's rebuilt this engine, and I can see he's powder coated the frame. So we're going to stick with this bike because we're not going to have to pull much apart on it. And we're just going to use this one for parts and a reference to where everything sort of goes, if we can. So anyway, what I did is I went to try and get some power out of this one. I put the dash on it, just loose, and that's the clutch switch. So I just joined those together, and then when I put battery on it and all the rest of it, that wire between there just fried. So I'm just going through the wiring now, looking at this one, copying it all to here, and I noticed there was a whole bunch, these wires here was sitting up in amongst all this, and I couldn't find where they went on there. So just a matter of tracing it back to the loom. Anyway, they're actually the coil wires. So the coil packs are missing off this bike, and I don't want to take anything off this until I really have to. So I keep using that as a reference. So I'm very unfamiliar with these bikes. So I went sifting through all that shit over there, found the coil packs amongst all that. So we'll get those on and we'll just keep chugging away at it. Alright, let's see if we get this coil pack on. So this here is just loose. So I'll have to go through and try and find all the bits and pieces, the nuts or whatever, caps for here, but we'll do that. What I'll do eventually is set up another table and get all those parts and just lay them out on the table so I know what I'm looking at. But anyway, for now, let's get this coil pack on and get it wired to where it's meant to be. Might help with that short problem we've got. So they go on there. The other thing I want to get too is a one of those GoPros so I can stick it on my head, you know what I mean, because it really is a pain in the ass setting up the camera every time you try and do something. It'd be better to just have one of those on your head. Anyway, I'll see if I can find one of these days for the right price. If you haven't worked it out yet, I'm a bit of a tight ass, so where'd that earth one go here? Yeah, a bit of a tightwad, so I always try and get things cheap, as we do. I think Aussies are pretty much like that, aren't we? Like a bargain, like to get things pretty cheap. Anyway, alright, so we'll get him in there. Come on. Alright, yeah, on this other old bike here behind me, the old Honda, I was looking at all this wiring thinking, what's going on there? They'd hooked up some aftermarket stupid looking thing that, I don't know, it looked like one of those things you put on electronically to get shoo kangaroos off the road, you know, something like that. So I was, yeah, had me snookered for a bit, but anyway, ripped all that off. Okay, coil pack's on. Let's see if we can hook that up. What's that one there? That is, it's a hose to somewhere. Alright. Righto, so what's happening is when I hook a battery up, no matter what the key is doing on the ignition, I'm getting the neutral light. And I'll turn the key off, on, doesn't matter, that green light stays on. So there's something going on there that's just getting direct power, bypassing this somehow. But that was actually working, I'm pretty sure, on this one. So I don't know. But anyway, I had a look down here at the start solenoid, and these wires have been sort of dickied. They just pull straight out of there. See, that'll just come straight out, they're not clipped in. And then I had a look at the fuse, the main fuse, and you can see, sorry about this shit camera work, you can see part of it there, that bit of metal there, that was bridged across there, but that just disintegrated. So, oh, there it goes. So anyway, I thought I'll take the one out of here. Anyway, this wiring's even worse. And then that fuse is not there, that's just a piece of wire they've used there. So that's obviously, I reckon, got something to do with this shit melting here, I think. So There is another wiring loom I noticed in there, so I'll go and have a quick look in there, see if that start solenoid's in there, and see what those wires are doing on there, and then we'll keep going. Yeah, but it's just getting direct power, so we'll have to keep looking. But what I think I will do is go inside and try and download the wiring diagram. Makes things a lot easier. Okay, the plot thickens as it always does. So there's a start solenoid off this loom, and what they've done there's what remains of that fuse here. So they've put those orange wires on there and taken it down to this, whatever that thing is. So is that some sort of fuse? I don't know. And then I found the wires that go on there, which is here, and they've all been dicked around with as well. So I don't know, that tells me these things must have a problem with the start solenoid. And look here, this is the other loom. This here is melted again. Oh, that might just be broken, but oh no, it's all melted. That's where that big thick red and black goes. So yeah, these things have obviously have a habitual electric problem there, from what I can tell. But anyway, I might see if I can go jump on a forum and find out what's going on. But I'll get the wiring loom, the wiring diagram downloaded, and then we'll just have to do a bit of tracing back and all the rest of it. Oh, actually, what I didn't do is I'll hook that clutch cutout switch wires back on and see what happens. Righto guys, I worked up pretty late last night, and I finally got all the wiring on this bike, but I could not get it to start off the start button. So I traced everything back. When I jump the solenoid, it triggers the starter. So I'm not sure, but I couldn't get anything here, this red and yellow wire, off the start button. So I traced it all back, pulled apart the start housing and everything, pulled everything apart, cleaned the terminals, all that sort of stuff. But it just shows that you've got to dig deep, because have a go at this. That's the start button. Where are we? Sorry. I'll try and get a pointer, hang on. Right, so it's all out of the housing obviously, but that's the start button there. Now there's our two wires, our black and our red and yellow, that trigger the start button. I don't know if it's going to focus properly, but check it out. That there, it's not really going to focus, is it? Anyway, that red and yellow, it's going to focus there, has broken away from the switch. Can you see that? So there you go. You've got to dig real deep to find these things. But anyway, that's good. So I'm going to solder that back on and then put it all back together and see how we go. Righto, so what I've done is I've taken the black wire off there, and that's where the red and yellow wire goes, but my soldering iron's not hot enough to heat that up to get that to resolder. So I've got to go uptown and get some globes for this bike anyway, so I'll have a look at getting another solder iron, a bit more powerful, because I don't want to use a little blowtorch, because I don't want to melt that plastic switch. I can get that plastic switch off, but it's got about a 2mm circlip to take all that apart, and the little spring, so I won't bother. I'll just get a stronger soldering iron. I'm a tight ass, but I don't mind spending money on tools. So we'll do that. I'll go uptown, I'll grab that, I'm going to clean that up with a little bit of acid, hydrochloric acid, to clean that surface right up, and then obviously rinse it down with something alkaline to get rid of that, and then we'll try and get these wires secured back on here. But I'll come back with a new soldering iron. Alright, I love coming home with loot. So we've got a contact cleaner. I bought one of those soldering iron stands because I hate just hanging it off the bench like this, and those little tin things they give you are shit. So this is my old one. It's 25 watts, so it's useless really. This bad boy, choose 50 or 100 watts, so that'll do the job. And I've got some globes that I need as well. So all of that, about 80 bucks. So far, we're into this bike for 80 bucks. Anyway, let's get this all set up and see if we can get this little switch soldered together. Alright guys, so just like that we're on. What a difference a powerful soldering iron makes. Anyway, there we go. I'll test it for continuity. I love these little alligator clip wires, they make life easy. Anyway, we'll try and do this so you can see it. Alright, that switch is fixed. Happy days. Alright, let's get him back together and on the bike, see if we can get it to turn over. Alright, so that's all back together. Let's see, I'll hook this battery up. Let's see if we've got any thing through the starter. So we've got ignition, should have. Yep, all that's good. Let's here we go. Oh yes, beautiful. That battery's weak because it's only hooked on with jumper leads, I reckon. Oh, but that makes me happy. Alright, so we're getting closer. Today's Sunday. I looked for a battery today, but they didn't have any, so I'll go to Battery World tomorrow and see if they've got one. Or I might be able to rig up this one in here with cable ties to get it nice secure connections. But, oh no, that's made me real happy that's, oh hang on. It turned over with, hang on, let me try that again. It turned over with, that kill switch on, oh, but I think that just shuts down spark anyway, doesn't it? That one? Alright, we're good. We're good. Let's get this battery on and see if it's actually got spark through the plug leads. Righto, battery's hooked up properly. I've taken the plugs out. Squirted some WD down the cylinders. So I'll wind it over for a bit and we'll see if we've got some spark. None off that one. Oh, maybe if we had that on. Oh yes, got spark on there. Spark on that one. Looking good, looking good. I might bring in, actually, that's what I'm saying, it'd be so much better if I had one of these bloody GoPros. Don't know if I can get you in much closer than that. See if I can get you steady there. Righto, so we've got spark on all four, so that's excellent. So what we'll do now is get these carbies off and give them a good clean, and then see if this thing will fire up. Righto, so I can see already that these are quite nasty. This one, actually I don't want to, I mean that slide there, try and get some light on it. That slide there moves, but oh yeah, no, he'll move, but he won't come down. It's full of sawdust. When I bought this bike ages ago, I was in a workshop, in a timber workshop, so obviously these carbs were just left like this, so they're stuck. But anyway, I'll get these in the parts washer and just get all this shit off them. And then I've got my little 1, 2, 3, 4 for the jets and all that to keep all them in order. I'll make sure I make note of how many turns these mixture screws are in along here. And I'll number them 1 to 4. I don't want to separate all of them. Hopefully I can do them all while they're together. But if we have to take them apart, we have to. So I can do 2 at a time, like end in and then other end in the ultrasonic cleaner. But anyway, we'll open them up. I'll clean them, we'll open them up and have a look. Alright, it's a pain in the ass to film this, so I'm just going to do the best I can. Going to start with number 1. So basically I just want to try and get this thing, oh Jesus, without stripping those. Hang on. Yeah, if all else fails, I use one of these. You get better grip on it, you know. Don't hit it, but just get better grip. There's nothing worse than stripping these things out. So yeah, the goal is just to get this, see if this thing will fire. I mean, I might do a compression test on it before we put these back on. May as well while I've got the plugs out and all that. So, but we'll just see if this thing will fire up. Got spark, so that's one problem. Alright, there we go. Bit of crud, but not that bad really. Not that bad. Floats free. Okay. I just had to give this pin a little bit of a poke from the other end. Oh, but he's out. Yeah, a bit of that crusty powdery stuff on there, but that's alright, that'll clean up. Doesn't look too bad at all. Excellent, float looks good. Alright. Alright. Alright, so far so good. Check you're still in picture here. See how many turns this is. So half, one, half, two, pretty much 2 turns. That one. What else have we got? That little fella. Does that even come out? Yeah, it should, but not with that stinking shifter. We've got a socket, I think. Yeah, little 7mm. Alright, oh that's the needle, yeah that's the tube, don't know what it's called, Molson tube or whatever. Alright, that's that side I believe, stripped down, so let's try and get the top off here. Get you back in the picture. Should have taken those fuel hoses off, but anyway. There's always fucking one. Oh, that little spring should come out of somewhere. We'll find out where that goes. We'll get the schematics. I actually looked at a manual online. Just waiting to hear back from old mate. He said the pages in it are readable. So I'm thinking, what do you mean by readable? Pretty self-explanatory, I suppose, but that got him. All right. Nothing a little love tap won't fix. All right, let's continue with this. So yeah, I just wait to hear back from him. It's Sunday, so should hear back from him tomorrow. And then I'll get the genuine, you know, factory manual for it. They're always just worth their weight in gold, really, if you're restoring something. Especially if shit falls out and you don't know where it goes, like that spring. But anyway, try not to damage any gaskets. And hopefully these diaphragms are all good. Alright. Yeah, he looks alright. No pinholes or anything. Alright, perfect. Number one. So I'll strip down all the rest and we'll come back. Okay, they're all apart. It's actually, these two are as clean as anything really on the inside. These two are a bit more funky. You can see in that. But nowhere near as bad as I thought. So what I'll do is I'll go and fire up the ultrasonic cleaner. We'll get these in. I don't think I really need to worry about doing all those individually. I mean, I think they're all identical, so we're all good. I'll just chuck them all in. And then yeah, we'll see how we go. Oh, I did notice on this one, carb number 2, it's got, if I can find it, there, it's got a hole in it there, see? But that's alright, I'm sure in that pile of parts over there we'll find another one of those, no problem. So righto, let's get this cleaned and we'll come back. Alrighty, so I've got the carbs on. What a pain in the arse they were. These boots were rock hard, being from the 80s and all. So what I did is I took these two end ones off, number 1 and number 4, and got the heat gun on them and put those on each end, 1 and 4, and then got the heat gun on these two. I was never going to get them on all 4 and keep those hot enough with the heat gun to soften them. So yeah, I just put those on first, took the boot off, put it on the carb each side, heated the 2 in the middle, and then just, anyway, ended up getting them on. So what I'm going to do now is give it a quick compression test, and we're hooked up to number 4. We'll go backwards and we'll see what we get. Alright, first one. Alright, there we go, power, throttle open. Alright, something's going on there. What's that? 125, 140? 140, that'll do. Alright, this is number 3. That's 160. Alright, it's number 2. About 125. Okay, and lucky last, number 1. About 150. Alright, so I've put some fuel in it and then I checked the oil, it was bone dry. So then I topped it up with oil, and oil started pissing out of the bottom. And I'm like, oh, where's that coming from? So I get under there and the whole sump pan, the bolts on the sump are not even finger tight. They're not tight at all. Like they're probably 3 threads out, every single one of them. I'll tell you, I've seen some cock-head shit, but that's up there. Said that they rebuilt this engine and then didn't do those up. So I've tightened them up, topped it up with oil. I think I'm getting a tiny drip, I'm not sure. But anyway, then have a go at this. I had a look. That's the oil filter, fucking hole in it. So I've taken the old oil filter off the other bike to throw on just to see if it'll start. And anyway, yeah, unbelievable. So here we go, let's see if we blow up or catch fire or do something. Righto, take 1. Try a bit of choke, wherever that might be there. Nothing. I'll pour a bit more fuel down his belly. It was leaking back out through the back of the carbs, so I hope the fuel was, so I hope everything's alright. I've got some aero start there too if need be, which I think I will use right now. So we'll give a little bit in each one. Alright, we'll try that again. What's that? Yeah, don't know. Alright. I've got a battery there, another one, a charged one, so I'll jump it, see how we go. Alright, I've got another battery, but it kind of sounded like it was tight. Like the engine was kind of locking up, but anyway, let's try again. Nothing. And a bit more medicine, see how we go. Oh, was that a little fart there? Ooh, backfiring through cylinder 3. I mean, I bet the timing's up to fuck, because, you know, if they didn't even do up those sump bolts, then they probably didn't time it right. You know, so, there's a little bit of coughing and farting going on there. Ooly dooly. Kind of wants to go, doesn't it? Give it a bit more medicine. Trying to catch it on fire. I'll guarantee the timing's up to shit. Guaranteed. Oi. So what's going on, guys? Can anyone tell me? fuck. Alright, well, that is something. I'm going to leave it at that because, where's my ignition key? Yeah, sounds like something's not right. I'm guessing timing, so I'm going to call it a night now. It's dark, so that's it for me. It's beer o'clock, so at least it runs, kind of, so that's not a half bad thing. Alright, I'll get back to it tomorrow and I'll check that timing and see how we go. But anyway, what I'll do is, no, I was going to say I'll put this video up and see if you guys can tell me what's wrong. But I'll come back tomorrow, I'll have a look at this timing and then we'll go from there. Morning guys, alright, we're day 3. I've had a little bit of a look at the wiring diagram and I think I had those plug wires all asked about. So I've switched them to where I reckon they've got to go now according to the diagram. And alright, I've given it some fuel, topped up the oil, still dripping at the bottom. So we'll give it another go, see if we can get it to run. Alright. Give him a bit of the good news. Just a little bit. Alright. Ignition barrel here. Alright, here goes. Choke. Yeah, maybe if I had that on. Shotgun, alright. And I also looked at the timing on it and they self-time. So, apparently. So, yeah. No adjusting the timing. It's all electronic or something. kind of doing the same thing. Yeah, it's still doing the same thing, so fuck! Well, the cops are around here soon. Very interesting. I wonder if I choke off the carbs maybe somehow. Like that. Fucking hell. What's going on? Alright, I did a bit more research and I think I had those coil wires still on wrong. So we'll try it again without the explosions this time. Hopefully. So, alright. That's leaking fuel out of there, we don't want that. Seeing as we've got bloody backfiring and stuff going on. So I haven't got a fire extinguisher handy. Where's that leaking out of? There. Oh, for fuck's sake, hang on. Alright, we're ready to go again. I've tested the spark generator too, the CDI, and it tests fine according to the manual, so hopefully we won't catch fire and we'll get some more action. Batteries come off, hang on. No shotgun blast. Give him a bit more medicine. Fucking hell. Floats. That fucking thing's stuck open there. Oh, there we go. Alright, try again. battery goes flat. Of course. What else do you expect? Try and choke it off again. Yeah, okay. It likes to be choked off. Well, that sounded a hell of a lot better, I must admit. All right. Sorry, battery went flat. Had to go change it, but that sounded a lot better. It likes to be choked, so I'm sure it probably wants that airbox back on it. But I'll have to undo the airbox and pull that back, because there's no way. I've had a look. Where are they? Yeah, these go in from your, one each side from your carburetor airbox, and there's no way I'm going to get them in without pulling that airbox back. There's just no room. So with those on, it might do the trick. But anyway, I want to hear that running again, so let's try that again. I put a bit more fuel in it, it's still leaking oil. But yes, let's see if we can get him going again. Where's our ignition? Here. Okay. It's saying it's low on oil, or oil light's on, but I know there's enough in there to keep it fairly safe. Alright. Let's go again. Oh, it's even idling. Oh, got to be happy with that. Finally got that bloody timing right, I guess. So yeah, that's not bad at all. Absolutely excellent. That's good. So that's running, well, not perfect obviously, but I think it'll run a lot better with probably better fuel and those airbox things back in. but still dripping oil out of here. So now that I know that it runs, we're good to go with doing the full restoration on this. And it's going to be an engine job out anyway, because I'm pretty sure that they haven't got a gasket on that oil pan. So I'll show you. Oh God, it's smoky in here, but that's all right. So it's got to be an engine out anyway, because I noticed something that I just can't tolerate. See here, there's some fins broken off here. So I'm going to pull this engine out anyway, and put some new set of barrels on there, and then I can also give them a hone as well. The new barrels, or not the new ones. I'll put these ones on. I'll go through those, that engine there, and I'll give you a better look at that. Sorry, bit smoky in here. Oh God, that makes me happy now that that's running. Like fairly decent, because those, you know, 4 carbs, they haven't been tuned or anything. So synced, I mean. So this here. All right. So what I'll do is I'll go right through this, and this one, these look all right, these barrels here on this poor old engine here. So yeah, what I'll do is take these off. Now I might even be able to get that oil pan off. Just you know what? I will be able to get that oil pan off once I take the exhaust off. So it might not be an engine out job anyway. Because once I get the head off, those barrels will pop straight up without having to take that engine out. So that might be alright. I think we'll get away with leaving that engine in. I don't need the paint to frame because he's already powder coated that, so that's good. So alright, this is going to be our next project, which is the full restoration on this baby. Now that it runs, happy days. And we've got the parts bike there, or we might even be able to get that one going as well, like I mentioned earlier. But I don't know if I mentioned, I had to pinch all these off this for the good bike, these head nuts, because, the tappet cover nuts, because I couldn't find them amongst all that shit, which was very disappointing. I actually found one amongst all that. But like I say, I'm going to get all that out on a table and have a look exactly what we've got once I find a spare table. So anyway, alright guys, I'm going to put this one up, this video up. I'm going to say that's a success for getting this thing running. And then we shall wait for this, finish this video of this one, and then the next video will be the RC17 CBX750 restoration. Alright, thanks for watching up to this stage, and stay tuned for the next one. See ya.